How's it going, everyone? Your boy Corey here, aka Crasher, back with a new video, and ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a very interesting topic to discuss. This right here is going to be a response to an article on Kotaku that is titled, and I quote, "Pokemon GO's eggs aren't loot boxes, they're fun presents." Oh boy, that right there is, quite the interesting title we have here. Now, before we begin with opening up this article here, I want to make a very quick disclaimer to say that everyone is entitled to their opinion. Everyone has a right to an opinion, but that doesn't mean I can't activate my trap card and challenge your opinion if I feel there are flaws to be pointed out. And this right here is one of the biggest examples of a flawed article that we have to talk about. So, without further ado, guys, let's dig in. Pokemon GO developer Niantic is testing a feature that lets players see what might be inside the game's eggs before they walk the many miles to hatch them. It appears this is a response to the argument that the game's eggs are akin to loot boxes. There is an awful lot that could be better about Pokemon GO, but I would argue that demanding its eggs be held to the same standards as the most cynical and cruel of EA/Activision loot box behavior really isn't necessary. Okay, so first off, let's take a look at what loot boxes are. In video games, a loot box, also called loot/prize crate, is a consumable virtual item which can be redeemed to receive a randomized selection of further virtual items or loot, ranging from simple customization options for a player's avatar or character to game-changing equipment such as weapons and armor. That sounds an awful lot like how Pokemon GO eggs work in the game. Not off to a good start, are we, friends? The latest change to the free-to-play mobile app is a neat way to see what Pokemon could possibly hatch out of any egg you might collect while playing. Listed in order of possibility, you also get an idea of just how unlikely it might be that out of any particular egg will pop a shiny version of the rarest beast. It appears this is another step toward providing more transparency to players who are frustrated by grinding eggs for rare monsters only to receive yet another trubbish. Which there's absolutely nothing wrong with being transparent. As a matter of fact, when you are transparent, you establish a trust between you and the people that trust you, that look up to you, that consume your product. But let's continue here. Loot boxes in general are an exploitative tool used by developers and publishers to get players to spend more money on a game they've already bought. They imply that to get the most out of a game, to get an advantage against others, you need to keep spending, keep paying for more sealed containers that might contain items, accessories, weapons that could improve their performance in the game or carry inherent worth. It's why they're increasingly recognized as gambling and are even outlawed in some countries. They suck, they're nasty, dirty businesses, and it'd be great to see games rid of them. And again, Pokemon GO hatching eggs sounds very, very similar to what I just read here, because when you have an event announced, okay, there is a finite amount of time to take advantage of said event, okay? And when said event equals hatching loads of eggs, well, here's the thing, alright? You gotta do a lot of walking, and in order for you to hatch eggs at a quicker pace, you can't just rely on your one singular infinite incubator. You need to have as many incubators as possible to hatch as many eggs as possible to get the best chances. And how do you get access to these incubators? By spending Pokecoins. And how do you get Pokecoins? Well, one of the easiest methods is to spend money. So, do I need to say any more about that point? I don't think so. That's not what Pokemon GO has at all. The game's eggs are a system that offer the player no meaningful advantages, and all works perfectly well within the core game without ever having to spend any money at all, frequently providing fun, surprising rewards. Okay, I don't know if this is just a case of you being misinformed, or maybe you're paid off to say these type of things, but this is objectively 100% wrong, and anyone with half a brain can say the same thing, that this is dead wrong. Because here's the thing, is that while hatching eggs might not give you a quote-unquote advantage in the game's overall system, the thing is that these egg hatching events provide very slim chances when it comes to hatching the creme de la creme of the events. As an example, the Dragon Week event, which in my honest opinion was a complete fucking scam, but bear with me here. The Dragon Week event, the creme de la creme, so to speak, was hatching a shiny dino. But here's the thing, is that in order for us to hatch the shiny dino, we would need to hatch loads and loads and loads of eggs. And how do we do that in a finite amount of time? By stocking up on incubators. And how do we stock up on incubators? By purchasing them with Pokecoin, which is most likely coming from your own money. I don't know why I have to repeat that point here, but that's just honestly, oh god. That point right there was fucking cringy. It works like this. Via a variety of means as you play the game, you pick up eggs. They are color-coded based on how far you have to walk to hatch them. 2, 5, 7, 10, and 12 kilometers, and can contain a variety of Pokemon. To hatch them, you need to put them in an incubator, and from the start of the game, you're given one of these with infinite uses. You're also, early on, showered in other incubators with limited numbers of uses. It's certainly a little shady. The game gets you used to having plenty of incubators on hand, right up until you don't. They're often included in rewards for completing the earliest task, but then just as you're comfortable, the supply runs out. And yeah, like the obvious dealer analogy, it turns out you can get more, but now you're going to have to pay. Alright, so you're finally starting to talk a little bit of sense here, so maybe I can take this article a little bit more seriously too. But really crucially, you just don't have to. In fact, it's actually incredibly unnecessary to do so. While there are chances of hatching a particularly rare Pokemon at given times, those chances are so low, and the effort to hatch anything, walking at least a kilometer for the most generic eggs, when aided by a super incubator, and as far as 12 kilometer, means that there are invariable far better ways of finding those monsters elsewhere. Honestly, anyone who is spending fortunes on incubators, then marching around vast distances days on end to try to hatch that Axew, is making some very specific life choices. Well, yeah, we might not have to, but when it comes to being a Pokemon Go player, one of the biggest attractions when it comes to being a player of said game is to collect. And when you have a collector's mentality like a lot of players do, they're gonna want to collect the best of the best. And when the best of the best are hidden behind eggs, well, you guys know the rest. You can put the rest of the equation together. I don't need to say any more about that point other than the fact that this article so far is incredibly flawed. And not to mention as well, Niantic doesn't tell us the odds of hatching these Pokemon from the egg pools when it comes to these events. Yeah, sure, they will announce the Pokemon, but they don't showcase all of the information in order for us to get a really solid idea on what to expect out of this. If we had the rates announced to us, that would be fucking premium right there, because then that gives us a much better idea of what to expect and how hard we need to work in order to have the best chances in order to hatch the best of the best out of that respective egg pool. Pokemon Go is a game made of random chances from the ground up, and not in a darkly cynical F2P exploitation model, but in fact in all the ways that make the free aspects of the game so great. Every time you hatch a Pokemon, there's a random chance it could be shiny. That's so fun! every Pokemon you catch has a random chance of being a Hundo, a 4-star, or whatever name you give to those also exclusive 15-15-15 rated creatures. Heck, it could be a Shundo. It won't be, it never is. When you compete in a raid, the version of the creature you catch could turn out to be shiny. Shiny legendaries. When you send gifts to a friend gained for free from Pokestops containing Pokeballs, potions, revives, and sometimes eggs, by random chance you can become lucky friends, meaning your next trade will be guaranteed to become a lucky Pokemon. Heck, trading Mons randomizes their IVs, the ratings for attack, defense, and HP. Everything in this game is about dice rolls. While I agree that the game is very much about dice rolling, I very much disagree about the fact that this game is not exploitative, because it very much is, and there are massive amounts of examples that can prove that fact. I have literally made stacks of videos talking about these type of things. I mean, you can go on not just my channel, but anyone else that is critical of Pokemon Go, and they can vouch that for themselves as well, because Pokemon Go has never been a straightforward, honest game with their players, and I don't think I need to say any more about that point, but let's keep going. What's so crucial about Pogo is, first, that every element of it, bar the ticketed events, can be free. I know someone on level 39 who swears he had never spent a single penny on the game. Gather enough friends, which is so simply done via Facebook, Reddit, various apps like PokeRaid, etc., and you'll be deleting Pokeballs in their hundreds to have room for anything else. Also, grind works very differently when compared to the more usual understanding of the term. Pokemon Go is a game designed to be played very slowly over a very long time, but you can't pay your way to shortcut this. It's all core design, not exploitative slowdown. It's a game based around the idea of going for a lot of walks. To not walk while playing it makes it a pretty tough endeavor, despite many excellent efforts by Niantic, and over months gathering enough resources to evolve particular Pokemon. No one's getting a Gyarados in their first week, because you need those 400 Magikarp candy. My son and I have been playing ridiculously intensively since August 2020, and we're only 309 Swablu candies into the 400 we need for an Altaria. But those 8 months have been punctuated by just so many significant moments, catches, evolves, and achievements. The game's exploitation of us in terms of how it motivates us to keep playing is not to take our money, but to make us get some exercise. Again, back to my point where I have to repeat myself again, it's not like Niantic is holding a gun to our head saying you have to do this, you have to pay for all of these ticketed, paywalled things, events, etc., etc. But in order for you to gain access, or at least have a better chance of gaining access, well, you need to kind of dip some money into the game. And don't even get me started on these bullshit ticketed events. Like, the Galarian Mr. Mime ticketed event was complete trash. Complete fucking trash. And you know what? There are many more examples, like I have said time and time again in multiple videos. The fact is that the game is very exploitative. You might not think so for whatever reason, and I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, but the facts would like to have a word with your opinion, my guy. As I said at the start, there's so much to criticize about Pokemon Go and the actions of its developers, Niantic. Nothing makes me angrier in the game than watching a legendary Pokemon mysteriously escape from multiple excellent spin-thrown Ultra Balls after guzzling a dozen golden raspberries. Using up players' remote raid passes to do garbage like that is gross, and doubly so when it makes my excited little boy burst into tears. but rather than seeing the game's eggs as loot boxes, I see them as just another way of getting fun surprises in the game, and you're provided with an infinite incubator to receive them. As I acknowledged at the start, I do think the game deliberately tries to get you used to having a bunch of incubators on hand. However, it does still occasionally offer extras as rewards, or include them in the 1 coin boxes in the store, and you can get 1 coin by leaving a Pokemon in a gym for a few minutes. In 8 months, I bought extra ones that was a part of splashing out on an adventure box. Outrageously expensive paid boxes that get you a bunch of items, including 15 super incubators, and it's been fine. Most of all, you're not competing against anyone else. Sure, there are battles, but you certainly don't need the rarest Pokemon to win at those. My 6-year-old is likely slaughtering you just fine without them. There's just no meaningful advantage to the player to have one, and as such, they're incomparable with trying to gain that elite soccer player to gain a leg up in online competition. Yes, people want to complete their collections, but you know, that's a very personal choice. I'm glad Niantic are making it easier to know what might come out of an egg, but personally, I'll never be looking. The surprise when an egg appears on screen, ready to crack open, is why they're fun. And again, all of that is your opinion, and it's fine to have your opinion. But again, like I said at the start here, that doesn't mean I can't activate my trap card and not only question your opinion, but point out flaws in your opinion. And this right here, talking about how Pokemon Go eggs aren't loot boxes, that is objectively flawed, because Pokemon Go eggs are very similar to loot boxes. Very much so, and anyone with 2 brain cells that they're able to rub together to start a fire can see that as well. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much all I have to say here in response to this article. It was a rather poor article, I'm not going to lie. It was just really bad journalism in my honest opinion. But what do you guys think about the subject we discussed in tonight's video? Do you agree with my points? Do you disagree with my points? No matter what it is, guys, you know I always love to hear out what you guys have to say in the comments down below, as videos like these are strictly just my own opinion and observations on the subjects we discuss. So with that being said, thank you guys very much for watching. Have yourself a damn good one, and as always, ya boy will see you guys in the next video.